Hi, my name's Katie, and I will be doing my invention discovery speech. I will be covering a health-related topic. First thing I want you to do is I want everyone to think of an event where you've seen a family member or a friend or a sports event happen where it ended in a spinal cord injury or some sort of spinal injury. We all know that unfortunately these events don't end well. According to the Dana Foundation and the NASCIS, about 60% of U.S. patients who end up with spinal cord injuries result in a complete spinal cord lesion. So what does that mean? Basically that means that these patients have little to no chance of ever regaining lower extremity voluntary movement. Spinal electrical stimulation gives these patients a chance to get back movement, sensation, but more than anything, a chance to get their lives back. A couple of main points we'll be hitting during this speech will be what spinal electrical stimulation is, who's a good candidate for it, and some pros and cons. So first, electrical spinal stimulation has been used for a lot of years for pain control, increase in sensation, and for voluntary muscle movement. But it's never been as successful as it has been today. According to LA Times and Tech Times, what spinal electrical stimulation is, it's a little implant that is been placed in the lower spine. And what that does is it sends a little electrical currents and flows up the nerve pathways of the spine. So what is this going to do? Is it's going to trigger muscle memory. Most of these patients have been able to move before or have had previous involvement with activities. So that muscle memory is there. It just needs to be re-enhanced. So according to that, next there was according to Reuter, there was a study done at the University of Louisville, Kentucky at their Spinal Cord and Injury Research Center. They took 4 patients who had spinal cord injuries for more than 2 years. The reason they did for more than 2 years is there's this threshold. Up to 2 years, spinal cord injury patients have sporadic movements, sporadic reflexes, normal movements. After 2 years or after that threshold, they can no longer have voluntary lower extremity movement. So they took 4 individuals who have been paralyzed for years, essentially, and they tested these new implants on them, and the results they got were amazing. These patients started off first with toe movement, ankle movement, they got up to even leg movement, and some of them are even starting to stand on their own, and they're working towards taking steps. That may not be a lot to you and me, but for someone who's been paralyzed for a long time and who has heard they were never going to be able to walk again, that's huge. That's a big impact in their life. So, according to the National Institute for Health, there's going to be a lot of changes in healthcare once this comes into play. So we're going to talk about a couple of pros and cons. Let's talk about the pros first. We've obviously talked about these huge advances in healthcare, especially with these new implants. This is a chance for patients to be able to regain their lives back, movement, participate in activities that maybe got taken away from them, and just be a normal human being and not be wheelchair bound. And a couple of negatives. It's such a new technology that it's not open to everyone yet, unfortunately. So there's still a select amount of candidates that can trial this. And on the other side of that is financially, it's going to be really hard for hospitals and patients. Insurances don't know, it's such a new thing, they don't know if they can cover it yet, and patients are looking from anywhere to $21,000 to $60,000 that they will be paying out of pocket for these implants, which is a lot. On the hospital's ends, they have to make an 18% budget expansion somewhere, which means they're going to have to find medical staff who knows how to run these implants and who also knows how to deal with spinal cord injury patients, so that they understand both sides of it. So, in conclusion, we've talked about what spinal electrical stimulation is, we've talked about who's a good candidate for it, and we've also talked about a couple pros and cons. I hope that you guys take away a little bit more about the healthcare technology world out there, and that you can share this with others.
Okay, is that it?
Yep.
All right.